Hey, Suits fans, we are here for the summer finale, Season 7, Episode 10. Donna, we're going to talk about all of it. It's going to be here, loud, local, next.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Shoulders.
Yeah.
We're in here now.
Oh, yeah. Well, we've got 4 shoulders this
And
time.
honestly, we're all...
8.
Ooh, interesting.
Numbers.
No, we've got numbers.
By the way, we were not in
4
sync
sets of shoulders
whatsoever.
is what I meant.
I mean, the seconds, I'm sure we're fine. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us here for Suits Season 7, Episode 10. I'm your host, Steve Kopp. You can find me on Twitter at Steve Kopp, and that is K-A-U-F-M-A-N-M, but I'm not alone. We are full strength, full panel.
Yes.
Starting to my furthest left.
Oh, thank you so much. Hey, guys, I'm Erica Shannon. You can find me on Twitter at Miss Airy Baby.
Hey everyone, I'm Lena Nori, and I'm excited to be here for the finale. You can find me all over social media at Lena Nori.
Yes, finale time. And might I add, we have a boy versus girl side happening tonight.
I mean, I don't see things that
It's going
way.
to be a Donna... Well, actually, you're on the wrong side.
Let's do it.
I judge
Okay.
my hosts on their merit. Thanks.
Of course, of course.
Is that discrimination?
It might be. We'll see. This isn't a deposition, though. We're talking about Suits. You guys can follow me everywhere at Hey John Blake.
So let's get into it. We're gonna start where they ended. Donna, Harvey, the kiss. Let's just get our thoughts.
Oh, just jumping in. All right.
We gotta jump in.
Okay.
I just-
Well, yeah,
We gotta
I mean,
start
that's
there.
pretty raw.
I would just like to say that I've always been Team Darvey.
I always haven't been. I'm against this.
and
I
Steve
don't
and
want
I-
this to happen.
And Steve and I are having that moment where... it's a little too soon for you, Steve, though. You said it was going to happen later on.
Well, no,
I was like,
said
it's happening this season.
her kissing him is not them living happily ever after, though.
True.
It's one thing for Donna to kiss Harvey. It's another thing for it to be a full-on ship they're together. It's not necessarily Darvey forever. He's still with Paula. They haven't discussed anything. She kissed him and walked off.
Yeah.
It's just... that's about what it'll be. I think... I don't want to say it was a weak mid-season tease, but it was definitely a very subtle mid-season tease. Like, there wasn't much payoff.
But yeah,
There wasn't I love you romantically
Right.
and then kiss him.
but that's not the show for me. I mean, the show isn't like this isn't Friends. It's not like I'm waiting for Ross and Rachel to finally end up together. Like, I mean, a lot of people maybe on this panel might feel that way. But I mean, Suits to me is about just the kick-assery of like the law, like them. And I feel like throughout this episode, there's so many examples of that. Like Robert and Rachel did that together. Like Mike and Harvey got to do that together. Even Lewis and Alex kind of got to do that together. So it was really satisfying in that way. Obviously, there was a little bit of Darby happening, but I don't know. For me, because that's like something A, I don't really want to happen, and B, like more of a
Well, we all talk
storyline.
Endgame. Yeah, we all talk. My theory on this has always been that it's Endgame.
Wait, Eric, are you Team Darvey?
See, that's the thing. I'm indifferent, to be honest, about. I like their friendship. I like their camaraderie. But romantically, if it happens, I'm cool. If it doesn't happen, I'm just as cool. But I do like at the end when she said, I'm sorry, Harvey, I just had to know, because I'm thinking she's at the point where she's like, if it feels right, then maybe I'll pursue it. But if it doesn't, then I can just walk away from it. So I'm indifferent.
You know, you can say that it's just a kiss, but it's actually not just a kiss. So as JB was saying, there's been so many breakthroughs in relationships in this episode. It was finally the breakthrough of like, Jessica and Harvey, where she's like, hey, take my name off the wall. It's like that kind of a breakthrough. Then you have Rachel and her dad. That's another breakthrough. And then I feel like even, with Alex and Lewis, I feel like they kind of been on the same page a little bit the last couple episodes, but it's like the ultimate breakthrough was Donna taking the first step, because they can't just be like, oh my God, I love you, we're in love. That's too typical. That's making it too easy. I feel like this was the first step, but it's like 50% of the way. It's just making the declaration that she's finally, because they always tiptoed around it. They were never gonna actually do anything past just being friends and coworkers. And she took the step. And it took Lewis talking about Sheila and everything coming full circle for her to make that declaration. And that kiss is huge. I think that's at least 50% of the way. They already have the friendship. They already love each other, even if it's just in a friendship way or thing. I do think there's more, but they're at least already, they're farther than all of us.
But I think them talking about it is what we're missing.
Yeah.
Right, but I mean,
And what we might completely miss, because it is the midsummer finale, and they don't always start the next episode immediately after.
right.
Like, we could start days or weeks after this moment where it's like, wait, so they just didn't talk about it?
I mean, they're definitely gonna
The
address
COO
it.
kissed
They're
the
definitely
managing
gonna address it.
partner?
I mean, I could see them doing like an episode of like misdirection where we like land somewhere else or something, and it's like in the past, but
And it's left vague too that she
right.
could have. I wanted to know how it would feel.
I think
Yeah.
actions speak louder than words, and she took action.
That's what
She-
I was
no,
gonna say.
she
I don't
did,
know
she
if
did.
that was actually a declaration. I don't know if I would look at it that way.
Yeah, that was.
I think it was just what she said on the surface. I want to know what this feels like, or I want to see what I feel afterward. I think that conversation would make it more of a declaration for me.
Yeah, because
Right.
she could have just as easily. It reminds me of a show called Studio 60 that most haven't seen, but there was at one point a character literally went up to another character and was like, "I'm crushing on you. You better hold on to your hat. You better go buy a hat and
Right.
hold on to it, because I'm coming for you. Like, I'm all about you, and I'm coming for you." Like, Donna could have had a similar declaration tonight, and she chose not to.
But think of it this way, okay? She's working with Harvey. She's COO. She knows what line she just crossed. They've been able to maintain that line. They've kind of like gone over it, cared about each other, the whole like awkward, here's your key back thing. But she knows what she put forward right now.
right.
Like, so I actually, whereas like I think before when we were watching the after show, we're like, what did she mean by it? I think she meant that she knows that she loves him and wants to be with him. That's why she kissed him, because of all the stuff that Lewis was saying. But she wanted to know how he felt, and she got her answer, which I think is that she felt something back in return. Because if she was not speaking, yeah, she wasn't saying words, but her actions spoke, because she's now crossed that threshold. You can't come back from this.
Right, but so do you think that she felt like that he loved her back?
I don't know. I didn't see her face,
Also,
but I think that's how they're gonna spin it.
I had a theory. Speaking of some of the stuff that's happened in the cases for the past 2 weeks, I've had a theory in my mind that they did this to bluff us into showing our hands as the audience.
Oh,
but then
interesting.
I remembered that they've already written and shot some of the winter episodes already, so that's not plausible. But that would be really, really smart.
Well,
If
I mean, they could
if
do
they're
it like
just
in a long play.
They're just gauging the fans.
Yeah.
How did the fans feel about that kiss? All right.
Should we pursue
Yeah,
this
no,
or
I mean, I
not?
think
Yeah.
that's smart, and I don't think it would be too far down the line, because I think there's going to be more than one more season of Suits, hopefully. Fingers crossed, it's a great show. But I do think they can kind of play with that, like, after this kiss can kind of go either way, still building up, even if they do, say, end up endgame together, like maybe 3 seasons down the road. Next season can kind of loosely talk about it, like, oh yeah, like she can be playing it off, and then have that thought grow, and as the inevitable Paula relationship doesn't work out, and all
So,
of that jazz.
Is the like?
I mean, we're
all technically incorrect, because we all thought the Paula relationship
True.
would
Well,
be
no, I mean-
completely destroyed by now, which
which it's not.
it
But
may,
I mean,
in effigy it might be. But
I
like, they
didn't-
didn't
it's
have
on
a
the- it's
blow
on
up
the-
like
I
we
mean-
thought they would.
seeds are definitely being planted for it to blow up. I mean, I think I would be the way that this season took a turn into everything that they were going through as like a firm kind of took the focus off of the little things like that. And I think it's nice to have a character that's like not really causing problems, but not really, like she's not really anything. She's out of the lawyer world. And so, I mean, just in this episode, she was basically just a supportive girlfriend in the beginning, like with his tie, like, hey, have a nice day. And that was it. Like, we literally did not see her again. So I think.
Although, to be fair, she was a supportive girlfriend who was also a psychologist.
Right.
Because she broke it down of like, well,
Yeah.
everyone in your life has let you down, but the people you keep in your life, you're still intensely loyal to them, and they're lucky to have you. And like, I've got you figured out as a character.
Right.
And she put out there that she's not threatened. Like she knows how Donna feels. Probably she can perceive that just from her career, and probably just as a woman, she can probably understand how Donna feels. But for her to verbalize, "I'm not threatened," sometimes that can be kind of a misdirect where she is threatened and she's just trying to cover herself. I actually believe her. I don't think she's threatened by Donna at all. I think she's
believe her.
secure in her relationship.
I think she should be.
I don't know if, okay. I don't believe her in the sense that I think that it's wishful thinking. I think because of the fact, like you said, she is a psychiatrist at the end of the day. She's trying to set the boundaries, like when she was in Harvey's office and Donna like suggestively said, oh, you know, you should take him to that one restaurant. I feel like she made it a point to like set that boundary with Donna. But there is a side I felt like that it bothered her. Because at the end of the day, she knows that like Harvey was kind of like frazzled, you know, right before the deposition because of Donna. At the end of the day, if you love somebody, knowing that your man spends all day long with another woman that he spent his whole life with, that, and I mean, by the way, one question, because I wasn't here last episode, that key he gave her was Donna's key.
That was
right?
absolutely Donna. It was 100% Donna's key. Also,
oh my God.
Also, he has
she
never.
Would die if she
also,
knew that.
Harvey has never told Paula that he slept with Donna. Correct me if I'm wrong. That has not happened.
I mean, you don't know. I mean, they've had a lot of sessions.
Yeah.
They've definitely talked about it. I mean,
that may have come up in a session.
Yeah.
I feel like that would be.
I mean, she's definitely, because there was a lot of scenes where they were talking about Donna, and like he had that dream where like it was Donna and then it was mom and it was.
But
like, the
I
whole
could
thing.
see where he always likes to protect Donna, and maybe he didn't say it to the psychiatrist because I feel like if he did sleep with her, it would have come out of Paula's mouth in some way, like, "Hey, it's really hard once you have like a sexual interaction with somebody to like move back from it."
Mm-hmm. Right. Well, and that's why I think like she wasn't necessarily threatened. I mean, it's not like she's like, "Yeah, I'm happy about this situation," yeah, but like there's a big gap between there. Like she, I think, isn't threatened because she knows Harvey isn't gonna like go sleep with Donna behind her back. Which is.
But if
like,
you remember, Harvey was going several days without responding to Paula. Remember?
Right, but I mean, like they're not like married. It's not like.
But okay, the guy goes from like showing up at your doorstep all the time. He was so aggressive with like trying to get her attention. He would call her like, "Hey, I'm gonna come behind your door. We're gonna go to dinner right now." Like it's only 2 months in, and already like he's lost the chase. He's not calling her back for multiple days. And I understand that he's stressed out, but this is the woman that he would call when he was stressed out.
I mean,
Right, but she's also been staying in this place though.
If
But if we're
really-
talking about behavior, I think he's changed. And as a woman, I'm saying as a woman, women are different than men. And I particularly can understand that, like, I look at a change in behavior, especially a psychiatrist, where I can see that she might be like, okay, this is interesting. The guy went out of his way when I didn't want to be with them. And then now we're together. He goes multiple days without answering my call. He's, like, there, but he's not exactly, like, present with her.
Well, to psychoanalyze Harvey.
I was just gonna say, have you ever been in a relationship before?
But you could make an argument that Harvey, as a winner, loser, Wall Street type, would see Paula as a reward, and that's now that he has her or has attained her, he's not worried about keeping her.
So it's like the Hound and the Rabbit, the little tail.
Which is a terrible way to think about another human being, but I'm not saying that's off the table or there isn't a level of that to him, especially in our society where there is a level of commodifying women in
question.
general.
So are you saying that if Harvey were to get Donna, Erica, do you think that if Harvey got Donna, that it would be the same thing? Like it's just the chase with Harvey?
No, because there's a deeper level of like friendship between Donna and Harvey. I think he would treat it more special.
Yeah, because they have a stronger bedrock as
Right. Well, yeah. I mean,
a foundation as friends and as people in a relationship.
Yeah. Well, no,
there'd be a stronger bedrock. Whereas I think Paula might just be a prize to him.
Well, no,
I mean, good on him for his prizes being amazing women, but at the same time,
are you commending him for the chase?
No. I mean, it's
no, because women are people, and none of them should be prizes.
Tread softly. Thin ice, man.
I know. Just honestly, just save yourself.
Well, no,
women, we are not trophies, Steven. I'm just kidding.
I made that very clear.
That's very clear. You guys are very complicated and lovely. It's good.
We
Keep it
are.
up.
Wait,
no, women in general.
I was gonna say,
I'm just saying. Like
we just said how Harvey
I think
was
we're
chasing
over
after her,
analyzing the relationship of Harvey and Paula. Like they've only been together for a couple months. It doesn't have to be as like black and white as like.
But he gave her a key to his place. Exactly.
So,
who gives a girl a key after 2 months?
I will point something out that's happening in the chat.
He's very inconsistent. That's all I'm saying.
Alyssa Zesson in the chat, who is the very first comment in the chat as well.
Hello.
She says, you can see Harvey kiss Donna back.
Yeah.
Which is something we can see, which I think is part of what Donna was looking for.
It wasn't
feel
her
like-
answer. It was his answer.
Yeah.
If he
kisses back, if she feels if they feel something in each other in that moment, it's a little subtle. It's a little subtle. It doesn't leave us a lot to jump off other than and anything else will be predictions, and we can save it for predictions.
Okay,
Let's
my
do
question was
that.
going to be is I don't necessarily consider it a prediction, but what would the next step then be? If Harvey kisses her back and she leaves, what is the next step now? Just Donna come back to work the next day and is like,
Well, she
like,
should.
hey,
nothing
we
happened.
kissed.
Well, then
Like,
she should confront him. In the following episode of, I kissed you to see if you would kiss me back, and you did. And I think there's something here, and I think we should explore this.
Here's okay.
makes it awkward
I'll
at
tell you
work,
something I
though.
thought
Yeah,
was
I
interesting.
I know, right?
Yeah.
It's the
It's
worst.
interesting that Donna wouldn't hook up with Mark because Mark was married. Out of like she deserved better and didn't want to do that to another woman, but yet she sat there and kissed Harvey, knowing Harvey is in a relationship with Paula.
But Harvey's
And you-
hers. I don't know.
No, okay. Obviously, I get that. Like, but so was Mark. She had Mark before his wife did. My point is,
Once you put that ring on, it's different. No,
At least-
no,
I mean,
that's what we were
that sounds
talking
wrong.
about.
I was
I'm
like,
not in
girl,
favor- I'm not in favor of
taking my
cheating
boyfriend away from you,
at
girl.
all. I'm not in favor
I'm
of
taking my
cheating at
boyfriend
all
away
in any
from her.
circumstance. I don't know. I just think I think Donna thinks Harvey's not hers, but I don't know. I can't think.
So that's what I'm saying is interesting is that she didn't want to do it with Mark, who she was actually in a relationship with, but she did it with Harvey, and it doesn't matter if they've only been together for 2 months. Paula's been in the
Right, but
picture for
okay,
a very
Mark
long
Mark
time.
wasn't gonna be just a kiss though. She went to his door and wasn't just gonna be like, let me kiss you, and not like then assess.
No, she could have. They could have sat. They could have talked about how he's gonna leave his wife. They didn't really insinuate. He didn't say.
But that
like,
was the thing. Like
I'm-
they were
wanted to
already
live his
before
life.
that. Like they had a romantic relationship before. Like
So
a
did
romantic relationship.
Harvey
No,
and
they had a
Donna.
fling. That was it. They started as a business relationship. One night it went further than that, and from then on it hasn't been a thing.
But they're
Donna's
not.
hands
That
are
is
complete-
way different than seeing someone that you used to
But-
date for a while.
on the fact of true monogamy. Donna's hands are not clean.
Okay, so hold on a second. So
Those hands
we're,
are not clean
we're
in this
saying what she did
because-
was not okay, but you guys are both saying that what she did was okay then with Harvey.
I'm saying.
I mean, I'm
sleeping
definitely
with-
saying she crossed the line. I don't think
I'm saying
I
on
think-
severity. Sleeping with a married man is like an 80, whereas kissing a guy who's in a relationship is like a 40, a 60.
The
Both are
assumption
bad.
was-
Both are over 50.
Well, we're assuming she was gonna sleep with him. She could have very well just gone to the hotel, which is still in a. Listen to
But
me.
we're comparing the worst, which is she would go and sleep with him knowing that he was married and probably not going to end his marriage.
I think the better question is, what do you guys consider cheating? Because to me, and I think as women,
Anything when you're in a
even
relationship is
emotional, I
cheating.
almost think emotion is worse.
right. No, so
Not
that
I
okay.
would-
So that's
not
what
I would
that
accept,
I agree. I agree.
Not that I would accept
So
either
that's-
one,
that's
but
my
I
point.
would take a guy telling me if I had to accept. I'm not saying I would accept either, but if I was forced, like someone put a gun to my head, accept one or the other.
Right.
I would take a sexual relationship, one-time fling, one night over knowing that my man was in love with his office assistant, but there was no sexual anything, but he loves her. She is his priority, his end-all be-all, and there was a kiss. I would definitely pick the hookup
Really?
over being in love. Emotion, you can't break emotion.
I would mark those as equally
interesting.
terrible.
I just said there. I
Right.
I said I wouldn't accept either, but I'm
Of course,
saying
but like genuinely, if I had to rank them out of 100, they'd both be 80. Like those are both terrible things to do to another person.
Right, but I mean, okay.
I said they're both bad.
in
I said
the-
if I was.
But I can't weigh either of them higher than the other. They're both really bad.
Totally. But okay, in the context of this episode, what Donna did, I think, like, knowing that, I feel like it almost is worse because and this is why I don't think that he kissed her back. I mean, maybe he like let it go on for a long time, but I think if Harvey wanted to like hook up in his office, like, she wouldn't have stopped anytime. Like, she wouldn't have been like, "Hey, Harvey, you have a girlfriend." Like, never, at no point. If he
I
took
agree.
the kiss to another level, like, would she have stopped it?
I agree, and I feel like with Mark, like she was wondering what if, but she wasn't really like in love with him. It was kind of like fulfilling a void for her. So that's where I'm saying, like, almost that emotional connection to me. they're both bad, but it makes it worse because sometimes emotion blurs your judgment and you will continually make.
Well, I think that was made pretty clear because I think Donna without clouded judgment wouldn't have kissed Harvey while he was dating someone else.
Right.
He would have talked. He would have
And
talked
she
it
knows
through it.
Paula. Like, she's seen the woman eye
She
to
doesn't
eye.
like
That's
Paula.
so...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Paula and her did not have a very good exchange. That makes part of it.
But and I think that's probably
Well,
what
and
is
I
going to
call
break
her.
up Paula and Harvey in the end. Like if
Oh,
you
you
were,
think he's gonna tell her?
well, no, I think she's gonna figure it out that they at least kissed, and maybe it's because he doesn't tell her that she gets more pissed about it. And I mean, think about if you were Paula, literally that's the exact situation you said. Like even if Harvey's not like romantically in love with Donna, he still is in love with her, and he still puts her probably above
Yeah.
his, at least Paula, or maybe any other romantic relationship which would make that not
is
work.
it?
So Rick Hoffman in the chat says
Hey!
I know, right?
What's up?
She crossed the line, but ex-boyfriend was her own secret. Harvey, Mike, and Lewis gave her inspiration to go for what she really wants.
Totes.
And that's Rick Hoffman, who has been known to be in our chat from time to time.
Rick,
Wait, so say that
thank
again.
you.
So he's saying that...
He's saying that this was this was her going after what she wants. What she wants is Harvey.
Yeah, like, obviously people encouraged her, but...
Yeah, but that's... I think we're past this topic. We should move
Yeah,
on.
no.
Yeah.
totally.
Let's jump into Robert, Rachel, the bank, Jasmine, the Zane family. We start on a flashback.
Which can I just say I don't understand the point of the flashback. Like we already established in previous episodes how
Yeah.
Robert felt. Like he already lined it up. I don't understand why we needed to see what Jasmine looked like. I don't know. I don't understand the point of that. Hey Rick, if you're maybe you can explain that a little bit.
Yeah,
it was a disconnect. For
yeah,
me.
I guess
the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it felt very redundant and unnecessary to me as well, so I completely agree with you. I guess the only thing it served for me was just to build up like why he blew it.
But he already said that in the kitchen.
Yeah, we had already.
It was
been
the
over
same
it.
flashback.
I know. Yeah, it was just like I don't know.
I enjoyed these flashbacks.
Really?
I feel like it was
I was
a
like,
space
eh.
taker. I feel like they just
Yeah.
gotta
I'm not going to
take
be
space.
that harsh.
Because it would have made sense if when they were in the kitchen, if instead of him explaining to his daughter, the flashback then happened.
Yeah.
Right.
It was like he said it. He said he put his job before because he didn't want to risk his career. And then in the flashback, I swear, like verbatim, it was the same thing that was said.
Yeah, and I agree. Maybe if it was the episode prior, it was just this episode because we had already heard it.
Right.
It kind of
Yeah,
fell flat. It
totally.
was like this has been established.
Yeah, I feel like if they had like a young version of this dude, like we saw that scene actually with his like Jasmine and this guy, and like
Yeah, that might have provided more context.
right, just because
It would-
like
it
we
would
could
have
have
been
seen
harder.
how bad it was, and then like more vilified this dude.
I also think the language of the show would be harder to convey. If we're following Jasmine and a CEO, neither of whom we've actually met before.
Right.
It would be harder to do. I enjoyed the flashbacks for what they were. The question becomes, was anything conveyed in them that didn't already exist in the brief mention we got last week? And that's a rough question.
And then they were even showing that like Rachel's a young girl that admires her father and is really smart, but we already know that about her too. Like,
Yeah.
I felt like the flashback did nothing. I'm gonna have to agree with Erica.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and
It was just like a
also,
space taker.
yeah, just the rest of the show was just like firing on all cylinders. Like everybody was really at their A game and had to be. So I think it was easy to see that as that like felt.
Yeah.
I'll say again,
Notably
just in this
softer.
episode, like I said, if it had been in the previous episode,
Right.
I think it would have been better.
Yeah.
And I think establishing characters to flashback to is very important for the Zane family moving forward with this show. That I don't like. I'm happy they're doing it, and I've also been very happy with what they've been doing with the Robert Zane character this season.
I do.
So
I
it's
agree.
very. So if we need a flashback that felt needless this week, but won't be needless moving forward, I'm okay with that. To really show his struggle.
That's I wanted to ask, do you guys think that if Robert had been in 2017 younger with his sister, do you think he would have been more eager to help her. Like, you know, with the social climate and the way things are now, he was hesitant because he was starting a new job and, you know,
and
climate.
Progress wasn't where it is now.
Do you think he would have been different now?
I would hope so. But I think the argument that I think they're trying to make with people with this show is that you have to do it your way for better or worse. And they kind of, and the flashbacks did show us that Jasmine was a strong-willed woman who wasn't gonna just put her head down because that's how things are. She'd rather her life be ruined because she did it her way. And I think, if anything, that's what the flashbacks served.
I feel like Robert Zane said it himself to Rachel, that he looked at Mike Ross, who was willing to lose his entire career to help the prisoners, and that's actually what full circle made him want to help his sister now. So if you're asking Robert Zane now, I feel like he wouldn't have helped him. It actually took looking at Mike Ross willing to give up everything, which is crazy because he never was always super fond of him.
Right.
And now he looks at him as kind of like, wow, look at this guy. Like, he's willing to give up everything to help other people.
Totally. No, I agree. I don't think it was the climate of, like, politics or whatever, you know, the time period that made the decision for Robert. I think it was just, like, who he is. Like, he actually needs more of a push, more of a, like, support system to be that type of person. I mean, I think he definitely has the capacity in him, as we saw. Like, he went through with it. You know, but it did take a lot. It took Mike to kind of incept the idea, and it took his daughter to really push him there. Yeah. Like, he was still kind of falling apart at the seams, like, you know, being a victim to his own, like, rage and
what I found interesting about that deposition scene was Rachel had the CEO. The CEO was saying a lot of things specifically to set off Robert Zane.
Yeah.
But if that didn't happen, if Robert Zane didn't get set off, Rachel had a very clear pattern of discrimination.
And could show it to the board.
Yeah,
like the video.
Show it to the board, use it to get the trial to move forward, like all of that.
Right. I mean,
the
which
CEO
is what
playing
they
on Robert's
ended up
emotions,
doing.
and Robert's emotions were obviously very, very clear. And when it came to Jasmine, and I think the more we're talking through, the more I think these flashbacks were necessary to truly show us more than one sentence last week. Who Jasmine was and who she was versus who Robert was at the time. Whereas Robert was a put your head down so you can make the future better for you and yours. Whereas she was like, I'll keep my head up and make my today better right now.
But they've all kind of been like that on the show. Like, Harvey's like that. Harvey, you know, he lets Mike do these pro bono cases, but it's only because Mike is the one that really has the heart behind it. And if you remember with Jessica Pearson, she had the flashback of when she was a kid and her dad was a surgeon and was like, you want to go become an attorney, but if you become an attorney, don't be like the corporate ones that, you know, are hurting the little people. And that's inevitably what ended up happening. And that was kind of that flashback that she had of her father that made her change her mind about the course she was taking in, like, corporate law. So it's not really Robert Zane's fault. It's kind of like that ambition to, like, make it to the top. You don't want to do anything to kind of ruin your chances, even if, I mean, it sucks. In his case, I don't think he thought that his sister would go through depression and the domino effect would happen how it did. He's probably just thinking, like, you know, let the case go. I have an opportunity that most people from my skin color or my age or my demographic don't have. Let me succeed. But it's like, Harvey's like that too. A lot of these bigger attorneys are like that. It's just Mike, and I feel like it's because of the loss of his parents when he was younger that's kind of defined him as that person that will put other people ahead of himself.
And Rachel really proven her own with the hostile takedown, because it's not a hostile takeover, it's a hostile takedown of one CEO with damning information. It was very well done, and it just shows that Rachel can hold her own as a lawyer, which the show doesn't always show us.
I'll disagree with you a little bit. At that deposition, I felt like Rachel could have and should have stepped in before her dad got out of control. Like, she, you know, we've seen in depositions before where Mike or Harvey will just be like, this interview is over or whatever, and he'll shut off the camera. I feel like Rachel, she, not coward, that's not the word I'm looking for, but she just held back where she should have been a little more aggressive.
Yeah. To
combat her father, because he was going and he was just going and
right,
going and going.
But I don't think even if she did do that, it would help. Like, I think her,
but
the only thing that
recorded.
Right, but that's what I'm saying is, like, even if she kind of, like, stepped it up to a level to, like, get him to shut down, like, I don't think he was just like, you know, a ticking time bomb. Like there's literally
No,
nothing.
I agree with you. I think there's a way she could have done it. Obviously, not to undermine her father.
Right.
And obviously,
Just taking the camera.
I think part of her thought this was like a catharsis for her dad. Like he's just getting it all out and like finally releasing it. But I feel like, especially as his daughter, she could have find a little sly way to like shut it down.
No, I don't even want to say, well, I don't think it was catharsis for Robert, because Rachel went in there with the intention of being the one to question Arthur. She knew what could happen. And she was like, you just sit there and be quiet. Let me do the talking, because I know if you start talking, what happened will happen.
Right, which it did.
Yeah.
And
I think she should have just been like, Dad.
Right, but I just kicked him on the table.
Yeah.
No, I think that on maybe some level, I don't think she like intended for this, but maybe one reason why she didn't was because she kind of wanted to let him get there. Like she said this would
That's
happen.
what I was saying. Like that's what she was trying to let him. Like she didn't want him to do it, but that's what I mean. Like the catharsis is just get it out. Like finally confront the guy to his face, like how he feels.
Right. Well, no, I mean, not to, like, obviously him venting is one form of satisfaction. I mean, like, Robert realizing that, like, he can't control it. Like, getting to that point where he actually did lose it. He's like, because he was saying, he's like, no, like, believe me, I'm not, I got this. It kind of takes someone actually messing up to, like, really learn the lesson sometimes. And, like, that's kind of a parenting thing. So it was kind of a cool reversal. For me, at least.
I feel like she's also been like that with Mike. She kind of just lets people take their route and supports them and doesn't really try to like sway them.
Well, you kind of have to make or let people make their own mistakes sometimes. Like, again, not that she wanted that to happen, but like she said it would. She did everything she could to prove her point, knowing like, you know, you kind of have to pick your battles and then.
But then you get to the point where you're jeopardizing the case and you're jeopardizing your desired outcome. That's when I feel like she should have stepped in. Allowing him to go off in the beginning may be okay, but once he started,
well, it wasn't like she wasn't saying anything.
I mean,
she was like, "Dad, Dad." Like
she doesn't control the room. Like she can't force him out of the room. I guess
she's the one doing the asking.
I mean, she.
It could have been something as simple as this. This is over.
Yeah, she could have. I get what she's saying. She could have directed the conversation differently or like cut it off.
Or. I'm sorry. I need to continue with it. Dad, get out of here right now.
Yeah.
But I feel like she's just always been the more passive type. Like, if you really look at the way she was with Mike, like, Mike just runs rampant. He just does whatever she wants. I mean, he does whatever he wants, not she wants.
Yeah, but that's...
And listen, I think that works. Because
you don't control,
my
like,
brother
you
says
Mike.
it all the time that he wishes he had a girl that would just let him do him. So, I mean, it works for her. Maybe she knows, like, her dad is overpowering and very, like, prideful and didn't want to, like, stop him in front of everyone else.
Yeah, I guess it is a fine line.
Yeah. No, I don't think there's one right answer where it could have like been solved really in that case.
Dad, stop it! Get out right now.
A good segue to bring it in would be Kelly H in the chat says, "I'm not Team Darvey. I'm Team Donna and Lewis."
Yeah, Kelly.
That was something I brought up on this podcast a long time ago, and all the panelists left. They're not over here now.
I was here when you said it.
On that note, I love the Lewis confession scene to Donna.
Yes.
Like that was like probably one of my favorite parts of the episode. It was like how I haven't seen like Lewis that raw and like vulnerable.
So much.
Yeah.
And just how like that would take so much courage to like say something out loud to someone.
I feel like Lewis has grown more in the last 2 episodes than like the whole season combined.
Oh yeah, for many seasons.
I don't know if it's the baby, like he was playing with that with the baby and it got
it's the
through
baby
to him.
sitting on the side. That's
so. Speaking of Lewis helped Alex and the Pfizer case. Gould, because Bratton got taken down. Gould is trying to take Pfizer back from Alex. Alex is trying everything with the associates. I didn't think we were going to see Alex again this season.
Either.
I thought.
You mean next season or winter?
Like from because we didn't see him last week. I didn't think we'd see him this week.
Oh, you didn't think? Okay,
yeah, I didn't think we'd see him this week. I saw someone in the chat say that Alex is the new Katrina. Like if Katrina were dealing with some pretty high
Katrina's
level stuff.
still there, by the way.
Yes, she's still in.
Katrina should still be.
She's just not
Katrina.
visible.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed this. This was a fun thing. I also liked Lewis calling Dr. Lipschitz to try and get him to play an international buyer.
On what earth did he think that Dr. Lipschitz would agree to that? Like, even when he started calling, I'm like, really? You've been working with the guy for how long? Of course he's gonna say no.
He thought throwing some legal jargon at him or case law or something. He thought, oh, okay, sure. No. Man,
I mean,
he has
but
standards.
does it have to be your therapist though? It could just be
Because they have an
Craigslist.
accent.
You were like, you could just look up.
I could get you 12 people that could speak like Dr. Lipschitz tomorrow.
Yep.
You
Yeah,
know,
exactly.
and they don't have to show
Just hit
up.
up
I can get
LA
you 50.
casting really quick.
LA
yeah.
casting must be
Yeah.
authentic accent.
Yeah, exactly.
Authentic German, no pay. 1,000 responses.
Auditions. Just that's it.
Well, you're not gonna have time to audition.
Well,
Totally,
Dr.
yeah.
Lipschitz isn't dead, which you thought was gonna happen. Or not dead, but be gone or dead.
I'll stand by that prediction that could still happen in the future.
I'm so happy for Dr. Lipschitz. It's the best. It's just it's created a path for the best Lewis ever. Like
I agree.
He's such a more like three-dimensional character now. It's like much more interesting to watch, like the highs and lows of him and how quickly he flips. Like when he went into Alex's office and he's like, "What the hell are you doing with all the associates?" And he's like, "Oh wait, what? You need help? I'm there.
We're family.
Like, we'll do this."
But
it feels good. It feels authentic.
He said to Dr. Lipschitz that if he didn't help Alex in some form or fashion, he wouldn't be a good friend. Are they friends?
Yeah, they are. I mean,
I think
Lewis is.
I think they make it clear that the Pearson Spectre Lit family is everyone who works there becomes a part of the family and is so close.
But family is different from friends.
Right, but I mean, these
relationship would
lawyers
be-
like don't really have the luxury of friends because they work like 24/7, and especially a guy like Lewis who might not be as socially skilled as
you
some.
said Pearson Spectre Lit, which is now going to be Spectre Lit.
Of course.
Yeah.
Which
by the way, I think is cool for Alex to be there because then he can make the play.
No,
he's not gonna get it, and that's what I think.
You better
is-
not be named partner. I'm sorry.
Right, and
Or
that's
Mike
what
Ross.
that's what I
I'm
mean.
still
we can
not-
just be Spectre Lit. For a
That's what I
little.
mean. Like that.
I'm okay with Spectre Lit. Spectre's
Right,
lit.
and it should be, but I think that opens up this cool storyline of like who like, hey, the name's coming down. Like maybe there's like whose name could be going up. I don't think anybody's is going up fast, but there are some on the table. Obviously, Alex Williams is
the language of the
Mike's
show is every whole numbered season up until fairly recently. The name on the name on the wall changed, or like I think the first like 3 or 4 seasons it was pretty steady that the name on the wall would change by the end of the season number. Although the seasons happen in 2 parts. Also, Rick Hoffman in the chat calling me out that I bet Hagar would be done with Harvey by now.
Oh, yep.
It happened. Let's jump into the main case. We got Malik
You're
Harvey.
like 0 for 4 on this
Yeah.
season.
I make
He takes big swings.
I also buckshot predictions that I can't be over. I can't be over anything.
Throwing grenades everywhere.
I make like
You gotta
20
blanket-
predictions
you
every
gotta
night.
blanket
I'll
the
get one of
battlefield,
them right.
totally. I
Lipschitz
get it.
is alive.
Lipschitz is he's a legend, and he is a man of morals that doesn't bend.
I am not unethical.
Yeah. good stuff, good
Alyssa
people.
Zessin in the chat says Spectre lit Ross one day, but probably Rachel Ross.
Spectre lit Ross.
I like that.
Probably not Mike Ross, but Rachel Ross, or Spectre lit Ross.
I don't think Mike Ross would want it. I feel like it's not his goal.
Me either.
And it better not be Alex, because that just makes no sense. Like, you just came in this season, like, a couple episodes ago. Like, calm down.
That would be weird. Let's get into the bulk case with Malik. And we learned something that none of us caught on, which was that he never wanted to submit the newspaper. He had something else he wanted to submit, and then he like did an extra level social engineering bluff to let everyone kind of show their hand. And I really enjoyed how that goes. Mm-hmm. Also, the Donna Lewis, we kind of talked about Lipschitz a lot, but the Donna Lewis specifically as it pertained to the mock trial, I really enjoyed that too, because I think it was a foregone conclusion to all of us last week that we were like, so there's going to be a mock trial, it's going to get real weird.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to get real weird. Lewis is going to push it
skipped
really
that
far. Like, I really enjoyed that misdirect of like, no, we don't have to do this.
Yeah.
But I think last week we talked about Lewis potentially challenging Donna's character in front of the entire firm. Her character was challenged, but it was on a grander scale.
Yeah.
It was in a courtroom.
And that's why
And now
she had
she's
asked him.
COO. Before she was just Harvey's assistant.
Yeah, and
That's a whole bigger...
Also,
Malik swept the floor with her.
Also, when it comes to prep, if somebody asks you, so are you qualified for your current position? Yes.
Yeah.
Don't tell them anything else. How do you...
She was already insecure about her position and questioning if she should actually be COO. Like, maybe not to us like not to everyone else, but us as the audience saw her questioning and challenging, especially with Rachel. And I feel like that Malik guy, like deep down inside, really wanted to dig into her because he's like, the bosses loved her. Donna wanted to be with him. I feel like there's a part of him that like he's just such a hateful little bastard.
To analyze this character, like to analyze the Andrew Malik character, I feel like there's something inside of him. There's something inside of him like deep rooted where he feels a certain inadequacy that he feels someone like Donna would never stay with him that long, let alone follow him to another firm or do anything. That he at least accepts who he is, and like probably doesn't like it all that much. I don't know. That's my pop analysis.
Yeah, that's your Dr. Lipschitz.
Yeah, that's my Dr. Lipschitz on Andrew Malik.
Fair enough. Well, yeah, I mean, he's got his own issues, but I do think, I mean, props to a good interrogation. Like, he definitely got to the core of all those things. He built a great kind of misdirect case to. I mean, it takes a lot to fool both Harvey and Mike, and to do that and litigate, like, well, it's cool. We haven't had a really good adversary in the courtroom in a while. Like, they've been dealing with all of these like logistical problems. So to see them kind of come like back to law is kind of cool. Obviously, it sucked that it was at Donna's expense.
And also, when all of this when everything we were dealing with today started on episode 101, we were really talking about like, wow, these are some pretty high stakes for something that has to come to an end very, very quickly. So that I'm enjoying this show at its height, at its best, where they can compact a lot of stakes and fun character work into not that many episodes.
Totally.
Like, they were very efficient this whole season. That they dealt with a lot and then paid a lot of it off on the 100th episode and then gave us something for this end.
Yeah.
That they paid off everything that they started on episode 101. Minus even kind of the Darvey stuff. We have time for some brief predictions before we head on out of here.
I'm gonna let
it's a summer finale, so
summer finale.
Summer finale, so they have it.
Okay. Well, yeah. My first prediction. It's got to be about the nature of the firm, because we saw Jessica and she's obviously getting her own spin-off thing, which props to you, Jessica. You do you. I think that I'm trying to think of how they're gonna spin it. Like, what are they gonna do and how much money they're gonna buy her out? It's gonna be a lot. Maybe like
this show doesn't like to bog itself down on those
numbers, I think it's fun to think about. They're obviously not going to there's no need to go into that minutia.
Sometime next episode it'll just be changing the name on the wall.
It's just more like, I mean, I enjoy the show, so like thinking about that is just a fun thing for me. But I think they're going to spin it as more just like classic Harvey, like wants to do his own thing, and maybe I don't think they'll go as far as, hey, we're looking at other partner names and there's only so much room. We can only put so many letters on the wall. I think Harvey will take it upon himself to be like, I wanted to make my own thing, and now Spectre's first.
Yeah.
And so that makes sense.
I think the fact that Jessica is going to be disgraced in New York State is going to be something to give us a launching point for the Chicago show, where that can be some level of, I've seen enough Arrow that every show needs to start, at least in my mind, is like, I used to be this, and now I'm this. Whereas Jessica Pearson's character deal would be, I used to be a high-powered attorney, and then I took a chance on a guy, and then it happened, and then I was disgraced in New York, so I went to Chicago where no one would care.
Right. But I mean, that's what's interesting. Is like her kind of rising from these ashes and like trying to figure out in a different city, like, which you can do. It's not easy, but like I think that's way more compelling to watch than, hey, I just moved here from New York, kicked ass over there. I'm gonna do it here now. Like, who wants to work for me?
Also, quick note, not on the predictions thing. Alex, what he did to Gould, recording him, I googled it. New York is not a two-party consent law, so that's completely legal and admissible.
Very nice.
Something
nice.
I just,
man,
my lawyer brain, living in California, I was like, you can't do, New York, you can do that.
I feel like the lawyer falling for that was just stupid. Like, I feel like like that scene for sure, I was like, come on, you're a partner, like a named partner in a firm. Your other partner just resigned from a stronghold. You would think twice about saying something that would get yourself in the deep shit.
I guess he felt like he was getting a legitimate grovel. Do we have any other predictions at large? I feel like they left a lot settled.
Mine is kind of grander. I think, or something I would like to see is Mike kind of go off on his own, still under the Spectre Lit umbrella, but like do something more on the pro bono side. That's something that has stuck with me since the end of last season when he came back and he wanted to do the pro bono stuff. I just think his passion is on that side of the law.
Even if that means that there B or C side storylines, I would really like to see him having like a case a week instead of like the Reform Corp case that looked like it would be a case of the week and then became 8 episops. Where I think it would be nice for Mike to just have pro bono cases that are the begin and end in one episode.
I think Harvey's for sure gonna end up telling Paula what happened, just because Harvey has that history with his mom, you know, being a cheater.
Right.
So because of his own guilt, he's gonna tell her, but it's gonna be after Paula kind of senses that Harvey's being different, which he's been different altogether, but he's gonna be extra different. And then when he tells her, she's gonna likely give some kind of an ultimatum for like him to decide, which is gonna push him to then think about his feelings for her. I don't think we're gonna see a quick progression. But one thing I did notice is that they closed a lot of open ends off, like the Jessica Pearson thing. Like we didn't know if they were gonna close it off. They did. I feel like they closed off a lot of ends. The Alex Williams thing, finally, like the firm that was trying to come after them is gone. But what I do think they're gonna kind of like break into is why Rachel and Ross have not gotten married. Mike Ross. Rachel and Ross.
Yes, that's what they're doing that intentionally.
Because I feel like they keep foreshadowing it. Like the dad brought it up, like, oh, so I'm so glad you guys didn't get married.
They said they were going to have a date, and we still don't have a date.
I love how we said Rachel and Ross. Rachel and Ross.
I think that's a joke they've been planning from the pilot. And I think we're learning just now we're trying to call her Rachel Ross, and we're like, oh God, that's.
It's your ultimate prediction though. The Valentine's Day wedding is still open.
That seems unlikely.
I don't think they're gonna get married. I think they're gonna realize either that they should just stay engaged or just stay together but not get married.
I think we're just gonna have to keep watching to find out.
So I think they're giving us the go home cue. So we have to tell people where we are on social media, starting to my far left again.
Thanks so much, guys, for watching. Please keep the conversation going with me. I feel like this went so fast, and I want to keep talking about the episode. So chat with me on Twitter at Miss Airy Baby.
And my name is Lena Nori. You can find me all over the internet at Lena Nori, and I'm excited for winter to come. Winter's coming.
I know, yeah.
And not because of Game of Thrones, but because
not fast enough for either of the shows. God. But thanks for watching all season long, guys. We really enjoyed all of your comments and for sticking with us, your views.
Team Darvey.
Yeah, totally. Keep up with me at Hey John Blake.
And as always, you can find me on Twitter at Steve Kaufman. That is KAUFMANN. I'm also doing a vlog called The Sober Year. It's where I'm not drinking for a whole year, and I vlog about it weekly. That's thesoberyear.com. You can see all about that. Thank you, and good night.
Till next.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Keven Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.